A car crash and a serious disability are tough ways to learn life lessons, but Michael McGauley has capitalized on the adversity he's faced and is now teaching others. McGauley's story is featured in Against All Odds, when ordinary people do extraordinary things. And now he's on the inspirational speakers circuit. And Michael McGauley is with us in Calgary this afternoon. Good to have you here.
Well, thank you very much, Ian.
Now tell us briefly your story. This was a car crash in which somebody else was at fault. It was somebody else was a drunk driver who just crashed into you one day. You could not walk whatsoever?
Yeah, what happened is I was on my way home about 3 blocks from my driveway, and a blue streak just cut me off. I realized I couldn't stop. When I hit the driver's door of the young kid who cut me off, I was okay, or at least I felt I was okay. I got out to help him, and a drunk driver came through the scene and crushed a girl, and myself, and a police officer.
Oh my. And how long did it take for you to recover from your injuries?
It's taken 7 years in total before I could walk without assistance. 23 operations and a lot of transition through that, a lot of reinvention of who I am as we went through that process. And
you've actually done a triathlon since then?
Yes, I felt that it was necessary for me to feel that I had completed my healing. So I decided I would do a mini triathlon. And it was exceptionally challenging, but I just love it now.
Running 10 kilometers or even a walk around the block wasn't enough proof for you?
No, I had to be better than I was before. And that's part of what I teach people in a lot of the workshops and seminars that I do is, how do you move past the transition or the focal point, the piece the catalyst to help you move ahead, and instead of taking it as a tragedy, moving it forward.
One of the resources that you talk about is, at one point, you read The Road Less Traveled by Scott Peck, and it really changed your thinking. If that changed your thinking so greatly, why can't others just read that book?
They certainly can read that book, and it's a great book. It's a great foundational book. For me, the beginning chapter was the piece that changed me from victim to survivor in my situation, because I took ownership for my life. But as I started to go ahead and face more and more challenges, there's a lot of generic information. There's a lot of information out there in books and tapes and seminars you can take. But I felt that I needed to have something a little more focused on the trauma and how do you move through that. Because so often we're unable to. We get stopped, and for some reason we can't move ahead. And that's what I deal with, is the power of persistence, which is what I say happens immediately after willpower starts to run out.
Let's hope the people you talk to aren't those who have gone through a serious car crash. But what are the kind of transitions that you are advising people to overcome?
It can be anything. I do some trauma recovery coaching for folks anywhere who have been in car accidents, who have lost jobs even, who've lost their identity. There are groups that I would deal with in particular if they've gone through a divorce or some sort of personal transition that they've now defined themselves up to this point by being something, and now all of a sudden they've shifted. And so quite often we have to re-identify who we are, and that's a growth process, and I help people move through that.
Okay, thank you very much for joining us.
Oh, well, thank you.
And Michael's new book is Against All Odds. He is featured in one of the chapters of it. For more information, you can visit www.thedreambuildersinc.com.